I'm Laura Ingraham. This is the Ingraham Angle. On a very busy Washington tonight, we'll start off with this. The bigger tent. That's the focus of tonight's angle. Okay, here's my message to you. If you read one article this week about our political parties, it should be this piece just published by Axios titled The Great Realignment. Now, the gist is that Republicans are becoming more populist, while Democrats are becoming more elitist. And if these trends continue, the party of Biden and Pelosi is destined for historic losses in the next few election cycles. And not just in traditionally red states, by the way. Shifts in the demographics of the two parties' supporters taking place before our eyes are arguably the biggest political story of our time. The big picture, Republicans are becoming more working class and a little more multiracial. Democrats are becoming more elite and a little more white. Now remember, this movement of minorities toward the GOP began in earnest under Donald Trump. He grew Republican support among Black and Hispanic voters in 2016 and built on those gains in 2020. In fact, he closed the gap among Hispanic voters by 17 points, according to Pew analysis. Hispanics especially seem to like Trump's no-nonsense approach and his pro-small business policies. His tone and his language toward illegals and support for building the border wall didn't seem to bother him much.
I'm a former chief of police on a border town. I'm Hispanic, proud to be Hispanic, and I'm 100% behind Donald Trump.
I am an American graduate student here at the University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley, and I wholeheartedly believe that Mr. Donald J. Trump will make America great again.
I was born in Tijuana, Mexico. I am voting for Donald Trump to be the next president of the United States.
Now, for their part, Democrats incorrectly assume that the more their party moved toward big government socialism, the more minorities that attract. Talk about a huge miscalculation. Now, more from this Axios analysis. The data show that Democrats are statistically tied with Republicans among Hispanics on the generic congressional ballot, according to the New York Times Siena College poll out this week. Democrats held a 47-point edge with Hispanics, though, during the 2018 midterms. That is a staggering collapse. We already know Biden's approval with Hispanics today is in the toilet. Only 32% now approve of his job performance, according to a recent New York Times Siena College poll. So how does this all translate in the November midterms? Well, Democrats' hopes for retaining power rest on non-white voters remaining a reliable part of the party's coalition. Democrats' theory of the case collapses if Republicans make even incremental gains with those voters. Even small inroads with Hispanic voters could tip a number of Democratic-held swing seats to the GOP. Of course, for years, the Republican elites here, devoted to the Bush-Cheney worldview, they thought they could just steamroll their opposition within the GOP, regardless of how bad things got. Their answer to losing in 2008 and then again in 2012 was just more of the same.
For the last 15 months, I've talked about the need to get immigration reform done.
I have made it abundantly clear that I believe we need immigration reform.
We're a nation of immigrants. This is not the time to abandon something that makes us special and unique.
So they thought they'd nominate Jeb in 2016, who would beat Hillary, and then all would be well. It would all return to the old days. So they were stunned when the voters rejected another Bush in 2016. It turns out that more immigration, endless wars, and more bad trade deals, well, they just weren't hugely popular. Shocker. Now, we tried to tell them that middle-class workers and families were just fed up, but the Republican elites refused to listen. Well, now Axios has confirmed again that we populists were correct and the GOP establishment, they were wrong. We actually grew the party. We made it a big tent. They shrunk it. Because we've made so much progress inside the GOP, we're now seeing a whole new generation of exciting new candidates across America, like Mayra Flores and J.D. Vance.
Policies that are being placed right now are hurting us. We cannot accept the increase of gas, of food, of medication. We cannot accept that.
I'm sick in some of the left destroying this country, and I'm sick of the rhinos in Washington, D.C. who refuse to fight back against it.
Now, the GOP old guard who claims so desperately that they wanted to bring minorities into politics are suddenly flummoxed, right? These weren't the type of candidates they were hoping for. You know, many of the candidates that are rising now, they got into politics because of Trump. Now, by contrast, you have to consider the problems on the left. The Squad and their supporters claimed that they were going to fight for the working people. They were going to stand up to big business and oppose foolish wars. But they didn't keep those promises, did they? So instead of working with us to build a society that would be fairer and more prosperous for the average person, the American left has allied themselves with the Bidens, the Cheneys, and the Bushes, and the whole rest of the globalist establishment that created so many of the disasters we're dealing with now. Working class people know that the left is not the answer anymore. Only the populists are building a movement, that big tent, that actually will stand up for the little guy. So while the left talks about resisting the plutocrats, they're actually doing nothing. We're actually doing the heavy lifting. Just ask Disney or the Chamber of Commerce, or Liz Cheney for that matter. We're not just resisting, we're winning. But when's the last time AOC or Ilhan Omar or Ayanna Pressley accomplished anything for the working class? The facts of the last few years leave no doubt that our policies work for the average American, while the establishment's policies don't. Look at how well we were doing just a few years ago under Trump. Look at how poorly we're doing now. So this struggle between our populist movement on one side and the establishment, along with its leftist allies on the other, it's the great political debate of our time. But if the establishment wins, the future of America will be bleak. More inflation, more recessions, more wars, more crime, more poverty. That's what they have in mind for us. That's what their policies are doing right now. And that's what their policies are going to continue to do. Always works out that way. But if we win, the next 20 years can be a new golden age with peace and prosperity broadly enjoyed across demographic lines. We can end these stupid wars. We can put Americans back to work. We can have more productivity and higher wages. Streets, yeah, they'll be safe to walk in, and schools that actually teach useful skills. We can have a government that promotes America instead of always tearing it down. Now, the media, they know we're winning. That's why Axios wrote this piece. That's why the media are suddenly trying to get rid of Biden. That's why they remain obsessed with Trump, why they keep trying to smear DeSantis and other populist Republicans. But the press couldn't stop Reagan in 1980. They couldn't stop Trump in 2016. And they needed a pandemic and a perpetual witch hunt to stop him in 2020. I fully expect the plutocrat class to work overtime to try to turn things around for globalism. Soros, Gates, Zuckerberg, they're not going to give up because Biden's floundering. They're going to double down to preserve the system that protects and enriches them. They don't care if you suffer. It's irrelevant to them. They've profited off America's decline and China's rise. But now it's time to beat them, and beat them badly, to take away their power and return it to the people where it rightly belongs. So we must defeat them one by one in the Senate, in the House, every governor's race, in the state houses, and yes, even the school boards. No state should be left behind. We can't give up on our fellow Americans trapped in places like Chicago or Baltimore or San Francisco. A political realignment is underway. And with patience and optimism, we're going to keep building this freedom movement. And when we prevail, get ready for America's new golden age. And that's the angle.